Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Rizka Kadir, and in this opportunity, I would like to do a review of the book that I've read by George Saunders with the title Congratulations, by the way, Some Thoughts on Kindness. Okay, so here's the cover of the book. So, as mentioned before, that the author of the book is George Saunders, and according to Amazon, the total pages of this book are 64, and this book actually categorized as short book since it is the expanded version of his commencement speech to the Syracuse University class of 2013. And finally, in 2014, the book was published in the United States, specifically in New York, by Random House. And throughout the pages in this book, you will be accompanied with the illustrations by Chelsea Cardinal. And also, he mentioned that this book was dedicated to his late grandparents. So before we jump into the discussion, I'm going to talk about who is George Saunders. So as you can see on the screen right now is George Saunders. So he is an acclaimed fiction writer and essayist, and he has received numerous achievements, including in 2013, Times listed him as the 100 most influential people in the world. And he also teach a creative writing program at Syracuse University. Okay, so uh, I'm going to talk about the brief into the book. So the theme of this book is actually shares important messages regarding love, kindness, selfishness, ambition, and aging. And my thoughts on this book, my brief thoughts on this book is that uh, Saunders, with his styles of writing, successfully engaged the people who read it. And the simplicity of the illustrations elevates its messages of the author as we go through the pages of the book. And this is an amazing book to urge people to be more loving and kinder to each other. And also, this book is actually a very suitable gift to give to people who are about to graduate. Okay, so the next one is we're going to talk about the synopsis of this book. So Saunders opens the speech by stating that it is his goal to impart wisdom to the young graduates, as Saunders feels that he has been able to derive wisdom from his years of experience and the many mistakes he has made during his lifetime. And the only things that he truly regrets are his failures of kindness, meaning times in which he was not as actively kind as he could have been. As an example, he tells the story of a shy classmate he had when he was in the seventh grade. He regrets his failure to be kinder and more outgoing towards this classmate, who was generally either pushed or ignored. Saunders points out that kindness is variable, meaning that individuals are kinder at some point in their life than at others. Thus, a person must maintain faith in the idea that one can improve their average level of kindness towards others. Saunders states education and interpersonal interaction as useful means of increasing one's kindness and one's engagement with the world at large. And Saunders also states that as a person ages, they naturally become more aware of the destructive nature of selfish actions and modes of thought, and they therefore willingly engage in acts and outlooks based more on kindness and love towards others. Saunders then addresses ideas of ambition and the pursuit of personal success. And Saunders also points out that personal accomplishment is cyclical and personal ambition can never be fully satisfied. Thus, one must always consider ideas of loss and kindness, even if one pursues personal goals, for if a person mainly prioritizes ambition, such prior- prioritization will distract from a focus on kindness. He states that even though life is often defined by a gradual process of becoming kinder, one should be as proactive as possible in speeding up that process. And he states that kindness is the most important aspect of one's life, and thus the most important aspect of one's identity is actually all part of a person's focus not on oneself but on the well-being of others. Okay, so here's some analysis that I've made regarding this book. So the book tells a story from the point of view of the author himself. At the beginning of this book, as indicated in the beginning page of the book, Saunders explains that when he speaks to an audience, he speaks from personal experience. His unique wisdom comes mainly from his personal experience, and to underscore this idea, he begins his speech by enumerating a series of personal misfortunes he has no regrets about, then relates an anecdote of his former classmate, Ellen, about the need for kindness. And however, despite the unique origins of Saunders' ideas, he articulates his advice and wisdom to emphasize their universality and constant importance. And the tone used in this piece is that relatively strong in upholding the value of kindness, but in keeping with its central theme, the overall tone is kind, gentle, and caring. And this blend of tones is strongly indicated by some of Saunders' closing words. He says that find the things that make you kinder and pursue them like nothing else, because in reality it does nothing else. So shortly after the statement, he completes his speech with these words. Saunders tries to show kindness to his audience while also imploring them to pursue similar virtues of kindness. So the speech also uses a tonal mix of his humorous and solemnity style. And for example, Sanders describes his relationship with his audience at the beginning of his speech. An old fart who has passed his prime and made many terrible mistakes in his life, that would be me, gives a group of bright, energetic young people heartfelt advice, that would be you. So the phrasing is humorous, but it implies a sincere conflict with Sanders' role as an older, wiser man called upon to over advise to the younger generation. Okay, so the start of this book is actually when Sanders, who has been going through so many mistakes in his life, after 42 years later, there is only one thing that he regrets the most. So what is it? It is the failure to be kind to others. So that thing happened when he was in seventh grade, and the new girl that came to his class named Ellen was mostly ignored and teased by the other classmates. And she then moved out of the town, and Saunders was really bothered by it because he thinks that time when he sees Ellen suffering in front of him, he only responds mildly. And this was indicated in the book, those moments when another human being was there in front of me, suffering, and I responded sensibly, disturbedly, mildly. So, uh, George Sanders, on his interview with S.Pd magazine, mentioned that I always assumed that the point of someone telling you a story was to help you live better. And the statement is the things that happens in this book. So mostly this book encourages the readers to be more kind. Moreover, more loving, more open, less selfish, more present, less delusional, etc. So he believes that kindness is a variable and it is improvable. In addition, to becoming kinder happens naturally with age. At least it is from his perspective. So to add to that, he also believes that ambition of an individual is certainly okay, but that does not mean to push being kind to the edge. So in his book, with a quick quotation, life is gradual process of becoming kinder and more loving. Hurry up, speed it along, start right now. So Saunders shares a beautiful advice as a person who has been through the ups and downs in life to the young people to seek out the things that make them kinder and less selfish. Find it and go after those things as if nothing else matters. So we can tell that Sanders was being vulnerable with himself by sharing his experience, uh, the word choice, the sentences, the paragraph after paragraph he wrote gives the lingering feeling of warmth to the reader's heart, and he wishes the audience to not make the same mistakes as he did and live life to the fullest with the act of kindness in their soul. Okay, so the conclusion from this book is that uh, this book is the title Congratulations by the Way, 10 Thoughts on Kindness. It's the book by an acclaimed Christian writer and essayist, George Saunders, and this book was the expanded version of his commencement speech in 2013 at Syracuse University. And Saunders shares his thoughts on kindness, its paramount above all other aspects, and the individual's role in developing their own capacity for kindness, love, compassion, and similar qualities. So the central concept in the book is kindness, reflecting the central role in human life that Saunders believes kindness should play. And Saunders defines kindness as the willingness to divert attention from personal concerns to the needs of others. And Saunders encourages his audience to always act like they are serving others with kindness and to always look for ways to raise the average level of kindness towards others. Okay, so I think that is all from my presentation. Thank you guys for listening. So I will close this presentation with Saunders' work in the book, which is your life is going to be a gradual process of becoming kinder and more loving. Hurry up, speed it along, and start right now. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.